Hello, and welcome to this final session of the Veil Iterations. And my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and we're going to check in with our characters here about where they're at, uh, uh, various states and things wise. Let's start with Marley, because I see a big wall of check boxes when I look over at the character keeper here. It looks like you are spiked on fear.
Yes, I am spiked out on fear. I am also one away from spiked out on mad and sad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even if you clear fear, we've
Yeah,
got
I'm just gonna be spiked out the whole time on something.
absolutely. And you still have a box of harm. Did we clear that last time? I think we did medical stuff.
Uh, oh, yeah, I think we
Yeah,
did.
so I think we can clear harm
Okay, cool.
boxes, and you can reset cyberware. Uh, do you have?
I think I
I don't
did
think you
that.
have any start of session, do you?
No.
Okay. Let's come to Heller.
Hi.
Heller, where it looks like you're pretty balanced. Got a lot on sad, fear, and power.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it looks like you have enough XP for an advance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you taken that advance? Are you going to take that advance?
Mm-mm. Maybe I'll
Okay,
take that advance. Maybe I'll just buy up power.
that's always the thing to do.
Okay.
And I don't think you have any starter session.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Oh, what's your starter session?
Scrap. We can go and scrounge and
Okay.
then make a thing.
All right. Tell us about the place you're going to be searching for scrap.
We're back at the safe house, right?
Yeah, I will point out that you're at max scrap 3 right now.
I know it means that if I get any, I have to use it
Yes.
up. So, so yeah, I can of course not do the scrounge. Just you go straight to what you call it, junkware.
Junkware.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. How many scrap do you want to spend?
Well, all three of them, of course.
Okay. You're losing money not spending them all.
Exactly. So that's just me rolling 2d6 and adding three, which would be great if I had bothered to bring up the uh,
Do we have,
roller.
let me ask you a question, and I'm trying to remember this. Scrap is your main, is your potential. That's your economy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, how many other moves do we have that are powered by scrap? Is it just,
None.
we need to look at the economy on that
Well,
then.
my economy is once I have those things, I can use all of my junkware a lot, like more than other people can, and in different ways than other people can.
Okay, well, we should take a
So
look at
it's an
that.
indirect kind of permanent power creep thing until I die. So there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you want to roll? We're going to roll with +3 on
Yep.
our thing.
Sorry. So just rolling 2d6 or whatever I get, I'll add three. So that gives me 10.
So you have 3 hold.
Okay. So I think that what I can do then with that is make myself a 2 tag piece of something
Yep.
and not take any harm when I do it.
Okay.
So let's see here. What have I lost of myself? Let's see here. Why don't we? Yeah, I think it'll be a little messy. I'll probably go for a leg.
Okay. Like something has crept up during that conflict you had last time.
Yeah, and one of the wounds that I took just it didn't only stop healing. It sort of, I mean, didn't heal. It sort of started rotting right away.
Okay. And you got there is a cybernetics and gear tag table
Okay.
for there for you.
All right, I am going to put another line in. So sorry, everyone. He's getting another line. This is the problem. Not only is it power creep, but also I just warp the sheet for everyone
That you
else.
do.
So,
Which means that Patrick immediately has to go through and start fixing things.
Exactly.
So selfish, just changing the sheet willy-nilly for your own needs and whims and aesthetic pleasures.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Let's see here.
Gabriel, let's come to you. You're up on power and up on anger.
Yep.
The twin poles there. Your harm will clear.
Oop, oop. I just bought Advanced Assess
Okay.
with my XP.
Excellent. And you do have. Do you want to do your investment here?
Yeah, well, I'm a little torn
Mm-hmm.
because I mean my gain is not great considering my risk.
Right.
But in truth, one doesn't help me a great deal unless I need money.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I might as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna invest one because that's what I got.
Are you going to mark any of your cyberware to assist?
Yeah, I think I will. I think I'll mark my interface.
Okay.
Just keep jumping. Oop, there we go. All right, and I think we've had a successful mission. I think I'm in a happy place, so I'm going with joy.
Okay.
All right, rolling. I got a 10.
Okay.
How nice.
So on a 10 to 11, you have things in hand. You gain capital invested +1 right now.
Excellent.
So that is good.
Takes me to 2.
Yeah, go to 2.
Beautiful.
And we will probably hit your strategize at some point later today as well, I'm guessing. Let's come to Riddle. Let's see, Riddle. So it's very weird to me because it's almost
weird?
like Riddle is the most emotionally balanced of the PCs right now.
Does it seem like that for this very brief instance in time?
This short window.
So I do have a start of session move.
Yep.
That will be done. Which is a whole big roll thing, unless of course the hunger stat is at 4, which I don't know if you noticed, but yeah, my hunger stat actually is at a 4.
Okay.
So that's if you start the session with a hunger of 4, don't roll thy will be done. Instead, reset hunger to 1, spike out a state, and the MC makes a hard move.
All right.
So there's that, but luckily my hunger's not a 4 anymore.
It isn't. The thing that is bothering you and you get back is you keep trying to get a hold of Roxo after last time, and you can't contact him. You're not sure if he's not replying or he's cut you off or there's some interference or something. It's just nothing.
Okay, so sort of teetering between mad and fear, but I think I'll spike out fear then.
All right.
Just like anxiety and also worry and also bits of anger, but just also a lot of scenarios playing out sort of thing.
So last time you were able to defeat and take out Demise. You were able to protect a large number of people there in Little Okefenokee. And through the materials you had, through the information that you picked up, and so on, you were able to track back essentially that there had been these attacks on you that had been targeted. And it became clear because they also targeted a number of other institutions, the people who you had sent to hit those signal towers, that this is likely Aegis, that they didn't know exactly what was going on. They knew who you were, but they clearly don't know the full parameters of what is going on. All they know is that you and some others made a strike against against them. And as such, you had that attack on you. But two things are important about this. One is that they clearly have information on you. You've established that, and who your relations are. But the more important thing right now, operationally, is you have tracked the physical location of what you believe is the facility that has Copernicus Dusk, his telepresent self, and is likely like center base HQ for Aegis operations here in the city. And that's where we kind of left off, is the four of you talking about what are next steps. Who do we talk to? Do we negotiate? Do we not negotiate? And so that's what we're going to be doing. That's I wanted to set that up as the big thing. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, since I want to definitely give us room to do personal arcs today, to let people figure out where they want to have play, where they want to move their characters to here before we kind of go to the epilogues. So let's have maybe a little meta conversation about that here as the group is meeting. Are we interested in playing that out as a edge runner assault, or do you want to talk about alternate plans, or do you have some ideas about where you'd like to go with that? If you've had a chance to think about that, let's start with our dead person walking with you, Sherry, since that's the other consideration that's on the table, is where you want Heller to end up.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are Heller's last days.
Okay.
So I think that he knows what he wants to have live on. And so that will essentially be that arc of trying to almost like Dusk, but the opposite, of trying to create a situation that will preserve what is dear to him, and it's not himself.
Okay. Gideon. Sorry, Gabriel. Why did I say Gideon? Gabriel.
Yes. Question on me personally, or the
what you feel generally, and what you imagine that like if we were going to move forward, like where would you like to see option wise? Like, give a couple of ideas.
I mean, I'm happy epiloguing out the big musical reveal. Because I do, I feel like I think that's got a nice capstone to what I've been working on. I am, I think that with this knowledge on Aegis, it would be kind of cool. I like the idea of getting in there. I need to do something because they'll eventually kill me. I mean, they're too powerful at this point for me to fight off. I have to do something or I'm going to get assassinated. I do have a cool move that if we can get enough information and have our kind of get in there and do stuff to like telegraph the awful things they're doing. I have that move in my pocket that I haven't really used.
Okay.
So if we set something up, we could kind of get out the scandal, provided I roll well enough.
Yeah, so it definitely
neat.
feels like we want to at least do a once around of letting people have a chance to investigate, look, plan, do some other things before we move forward. Okay. Riddle, are you good with that? Okay. Ethan, are you good with that? Is there anything you want to hit before we do kind of a once around?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. Then Heller, let's start with you. What is, you have this information, you have these plans, you have things out there. What is it that you want to do? What do you want to look into? What do you want to prepare? What do we want to see on screen here? You're muted.
I think there is that thing of it's not gory, but there's that scene that's clearly, Heller sort of very much on his own, but kind of being talked through it by revision while he's doing the process of taking his leg off and and replacing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really clear that it's painful, but that he's used to that he knows how to control that with like he doesn't feel it, but it's painful in another way of like watching that happen. And I think there's that whole thing of when he gets done, he sort of meticulously goes through and cleans off every sign of blood on himself and on his clothing and everything. And I do think that he will go to find Riddle.
Okay. Then let's do that scene, and then we'll come to Gabriel.
Okay.
So Riddle, where does Heller find you?
I think probably in the safe house somewhere. I don't think he's been gotten up to going outside and potentially causing all sorts of horror and danger and trouble for himself and everyone all over again.
Okay.
Maybe like in the recording studio because it's like silent, soundproofed in there, and it's not really being used right now, I don't think.
Yeah, I think finally finds you, kind of sees you through the window, that kind of thing. And kind of opens the door and goes, "Hey, Little, I need to talk to you."
Okay. Yeah, sure.
What does your foot look like? Because Riddle will notice that you do not have the same foot.
I think that he has the same shoes and everything. I think the thing that is clear is that it's really the thigh and calf are bulkier than the other leg. There's the thing for wrapping it so that it has that sort of muscle, like in order to create the muscle action of a regular leg, his materials are bulkier. And cables, but like cables of that sort of thing that are for mimicking muscle fiber. And they're older. They aren't Lux. And think about it like someone with layers and layers of what looks like seatbelt material, kind of wrapped around an armature with mechanisms that fire things off, and storage in the middle where the bones are. And he sort of kind of comes in and he sits down. He goes, "We kind of got interrupted. But
When the exploding swampigators?
no, before that. I was hoping that you could help me with revision."
Okay. Help you how?
I would like to be able to download their self into that Dalbot so that they're independent, so that they can escape erasure.
All right.
Look, it's important. They know more about this, the thing that's killing me, and the corp is going to erase it all. If there's any hope, there has to be some continuity, and there won't be until there's profit for it.
Fine, but I need your help too.
What do you need?
It's Roxo. Why is it always Roxo? It's fucking Roxo again.
Okay.
The whole point of it all, I guess the thing that caught my attention about the whole Cyberbrain project is the layers, the bisecting, the piecing and puzzling. That you could find parts of your mind, of yourself, of your psyche, whatever, and isolate them, alter them, find foreign infections, things that had gotten lodged in there long enough to go native, long enough to sound natural.
Wait, I don't understand. You mean part of your own psyche?
Is it part of your own psyche if it comes from outside? Is it part of
Well, hell
yourself if
yeah.
it's someone else's view?
And see me go. How do you even understand what a view is until someone has helped you to see theirs?
And is theirs then supposed to overwhelm and replace your own? I mean, what
Well,
happens?
no. You you should have many views that you experience through your life, right? Here's how to be a good boy. Here's how to be the person we need you to be. Here's how to do the thing that you enjoy doing. Here's how this person wants you to be. Here's how this person wants you to be. And you pick and choose. You try different things on, right?
Oh, there are a lot of ways that brains should go, and maybe if mine went some of those, I wouldn't have an entire research department of programming jacked into the back of mine. There are certain things people can say to you, interactions you can have that just imagine if they just sat inside your own mind, just playing over and over and over again until you couldn't really tell the difference between their voice and your voice, and if it's your voice and if it's your mind and if it's all coming from inside of your mind. How do you even argue with that? I
Is it like
thought,
telling you bad things about yourself? Because that's depression.
yeah, it's sort of like that.
Okay. All right.
Well, my thought was that if I could take those words and thoughts, if I could bundle them up and force them outside of myself again, then they would be outside of myself again. It would be part of many, something that I could filter or deal with. It would let me start over.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, and we're talking about Roxo?
I, yeah, over time in a conglomerate sort of like throw all the bad things in the closet sort of way.
But he didn't seem like a bad guy.
Well,
He just
thank
seemed kind
you.
of like a middle schooler, you know? Like he hadn't worked out who he wanted to be, but he wanted to be someone.
I mean, Roxo's also sort of me, so like it would suck to find if like all of my worst moments added up to an insane serial killer or something. I mean, okay, that's a touchy example, maybe.
Wait, what do you mean? Oh,
Nothing.
okay. And then stops and goes, Roxo didn't murder anyone, right?
No. Well, no. No, I'm pretty sure. I don't have any reason to believe Roxo has hurt any. Well, I mean, it's not like I've heard from them in like, well, however long it's been now, and I can't really call up any sort of messaging or tracking or any sort of software. But I mean, also they're me, so they could have just gone off and turned things off. I could turn things off, but then what if they didn't? I mean, like, should I be
Did you
worried
just talk
about?
to Roxo about this?
Well, no, I left several long and detailed messages.
And he messaged you back?
No.
Oh, that's the problem.
Well, but is it a problem? Like, okay, so I had a fight with the personification of negative impulses in my own head that I was trying to get out anyways. Is that a bad thing? Is that my problem?
Stops and goes, you seem upset by it, so I would say that yes, it is. Like maybe you weren't ready to let go. I
Are
mean,
you
they
sure
they
you
are
didn't?
part of you, right?
You're absolutely sure you don't mean to say like exactly the opposite of all that.
I will say again, Roxo didn't seem that bad. I mean, if that was the worst of your inner psyche, you're doing okay, Riddle. You just seemed like an outgoing person who wanted to, hang out with people and do stuff.
Well, yeah, he does generally want to do things, which he hasn't wanted to do anything or tried to make me do anything or go anywhere or drink anything for like a long time, hours even. And
Wait a minute. Did you like put all of your social urges into Roxo?
well, no, I have social urge. Can we not talk about social urges? What?
Sure. This is really weird. But yeah, let's go find Roxo, okay?
Oh, okay.
Do you tell Heller what triggered this?
In
Or do you
what
kind of
sense?
leave that off the table, him helping you and taking over your body, and then all he asked was you to thank him and you refused?
No, I don't think I tell
Okay.
Lily that.
I just want to
I
get the
had
dynamic of it. Okay.
I believe last time, like in the heat of it, Riddle had said some things about like shouldn't not like having let him back in and like having done horrible things, but no, certain not the details of that particular moment.
I'm just looking in my rearview mirror at the inner conflict move that's coming up. So I just wanted to be sure where we were on the highway. Okay. We'll come back to you two. Gabriel, what is it that you want to do? What is it you want to look into? What is it you want to put into operation here? And we can do a couple moves if you've got a couple of things. Like I know strategize always feels like it's a good mechanical move. We can start with that if you'd like, as you're looking at the situation. Then we can roll into another move.
Yeah, I suppose we can. I want to hit an assess probably to look things over and try and get to a strategize.
Which do you want to do first? Do you want to do the assess?
Let's do the assess first. That feels like then with more information go into strategize.
What do you want to roll that with? And do you want to mark any cyberware?
Let's see here. I'm low on cyberware. And I can't push power or I'm gonna end up being spiked. Whew. Well, let's at least it feels a little like power gaming, but it also makes sense. I think I'm worried about what's going on, so yeah. I'm gonna hit fear to go with my assess here.
It's never power gaming to try and balance your emotional state.
And I'll go ahead and use my ear.
Okay. Let's have you go ahead and roll with that +2.
All right. That's an 8.
That is an 8. So what is it you want to know?
All right. So I'm in my assess. Okay. What I'm trying to find out is information about the location we've heard of. Kind of get a little bit of see if I can get some lay of the land of that place before we start going into it.
So I think, well, you can definitely get, and then you'll get the hold. We'll talk about the hold here in a second, but it is a facility. It is clearly like the start of an arcology, like they started to build a larger facility there, but then that got stopped. So it's clearly been converted from its original purpose. They definitely are trying not to look too military, so there's not a huge visible set of defenders or that kind of thing there. Most of it, they are going to be having that kind of security and defenses and things like that, but they are trying to keep it quiet. The thing is that you will strike you from what you're reading in terms of, with the assistance of Riddle and, your people from the corporation and things like that, is it's very clear that they've got at least one, maybe two, mega computers on site, like big computers, based on the power draw, based on the temperature fluctuations, like the cooling and things, that definitely gives you sense. They are definitely moving in coolant at a higher rate than normal. Does that give you kind of a sense of multi-level, probably part of it underground, part of it above ground? If we imagine that sort of Shadowrun pyramids, how they have the pyramids for the arcologies. Picture like one corner of a pyramid sort of start to be built, and they've kind of closed that off.
Neat. Okay. And are we playing in Miami? Is that what we'd set up?
No, we're just in a southern place. We haven't established where.
I see we had the Okefenokee around.
Yeah, so we're in the southwards.
Okay. I think I want to establish a fact.
Okay. Now here's the question before you go too much further. Do you want one hold, or do you want to pay a cost and take two hold?
Ooh, what's the cost on these?
Well, I
You'll give me something, yeah.
Well, certainly capital would be an easy way to pay a cost. If you wanted to pay one capital to get an additional hold to make an additional declaration.
No, I'm going to hold on to my capital.
Okay, let me look and see if there's another thing. I don't want to do necessarily the debt clock because kicking it would start a whole another thing.
I may just have to go without a cost.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to reveal a detail.
What is the detail you want to reveal?
We have established that there is the river that runs out of the city and goes to where Marley's people are.
Right.
I think I notice all this coolant they're doing, they're pulling from the river upstream and dumping it downstream from the arcology. And the establishing fact is that entry, where the coolant comes in, is outside of the perimeter of the arcology.
Yeah. You had established earlier on some places that you knew were likely dump spots. And so now you realize that this is one of those. And you'd already, with Marley's help, built up some kind of maps of that. So yeah, you can see where they are drawing in that coolant. They probably got one of these sort of whatever they're adding to the waterway. This is at least one of the sites for that. Okay, that seems fair.
Excellent. Good.
Did you want to run your strategize too?
I do. And I want to ask if this is something also I could do. There's someone I know who is extremely good at infiltration and wouldn't mind having them in the area to provide some sort of observation. And I do have a bond on. Can I call Null to be working Overwatch for us?
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Not going in with us, but providing that outside someone.
Let me think about that, because I kind of had some thoughts about where they were in the scheme of things.
Okay, if I'm playing with your stuff, that's cool too.
Would you be cool with? You have a link, right? We can link is the ability to set up an NPC, and you've got a thing that gives you a better chance on that. Do you want to set up an NPC here?
Yeah, I suppose I could do that. Yeah, let's give that a shot. It's one of my special moves, so it's always good to use those.
Yeah.
Yeah, going off of my network web. Okay. So
what do you want to roll that with? Fear again?
That would be smart. Yeah, this is caution. This is concern. This still fits. So yeah, I'll hit it with fear.
Okay.
And I don't have any cyberware I can pull for this. It's going to have to be that +1 roll.
Okay.
10.
10. So what is the name of this guy?
I
use the generic there. Guy, girl, they, them.
I think it's a she.
Okay.
And maybe it's a little generic, but I'm going to go with Badger. This is
Okay.
someone that's pretty high up in our security. That is one of the. I'm worried about going to my guild, but Badger's somebody that I've worked with, and we have a bit of a personal that I might could trust them.
They probably were like peripherally involved on some of the other ops you did before. You probably already had them called up in terms of keeping an eye out for the music stuff. So they're kind of on standby, and they're like, this is different. This is not what you were doing before. There's something else. This isn't the music stuff.
I'm going to be straight up with you, Badger.
Mm-hmm.
This is big and very dangerous. And in a way, it's personal. They've come for me. They sent a strike team after me. And it's not just a guild.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a confederacy of guilds. I need someone I can trust to watch my back.
Okay. You've always done well by me, Gabriel. Maybe we talk afterwards, she says, about you introduce me to your hot sister, and we could talk about that. Just saying. But
I don't know if that would be doing you a favor, Badger, but I'd be more than happy to do it.
When you talk it down like that, I get more interested. I know how you play with the negotiations. I'll be on site.
I think we have a deal.
Yep. Tom's on. I'll send you the details.
Appreciate it, Badger.
Marley, what do you want to do? What are you up to?
Yeah, so I'm looking at this spiked out of one fear and a new move. But I think Marley is kind of hiding out a little bit in this this safe house. But like has found the corner of see, it was like an office, and it's just kind of sitting on the floor, like just kind of freaked out.
Okay.
And you see all of the cords and wires from electrical equipment, because this was like super high tech but also safe, so a lot of connections are still wired where they wouldn't be in other places. But all of the wires have sprouted leaves.
Okay.
And Marley is just kind of sitting on the floor thinking like, oh shit, this, I got the ball rolling on this whole Aegis thing, and now they're after my friends with like military people and equipment. Like what have I just done? And I would like to use transmission.
Okay.
Move. Is when you ask your homeland for guidance about a situation or challenge you face, roll. If you are standing in your homeland or in the presence of an anchor, there is an anchor here. Add +1.
Okay.
It's like
you have certainly Heller in the areas, but at least when you do this, so that counts as an anchor.
I think there's an anchor in the safe. Let me.
Oh, that's
sure
right.
Here.
Yeah.
I think I listed the anchors somewhere. Yes. Okay. So that's a 1, and I'm rolling with fear, so that's just a 1. But it's a 10.
That is a 10. I think that there is a moment of sort of connection and recognition. that you're looking at the space where you're going to have to come in and such. And it's a swampy area. It's a mucky area. But you have a group of people with modest talents like your own. If they can be brought together and networked, they know this environment, they know this area, they know this ecosystem. If you can gather them together, they may be able to wreak some serious havoc using the powers of the homeland. And they owe you because you and Gabriel saved their lives. And in particular, certainly right now, the person who's kind of the like point person, just because people they know her and because she's feeling supremely guilty for what happened, is Azalea Flo.
Okay.
Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah, and presents me with another dilemma, like getting more people involved in this extremely dangerous thing, or.
But yeah, Gabriel has fed you the line on what the access is, and this is another possibility. So let's look at transmission. So check that. And the 10 plus gives us what on the moves here? Oh, there it is. Too many rows. Okay. So you have what if you follow that path, you have an essence, and you will take advantage on your move to organize them to use them. Sound good?
Okay. Yep.
Let us come back to Riddle and Heller. Riddle, I put you in the driver's seat this time.
I'm sort of curious because I think Riddle has tried all of his like normal routes and tricks for tracking someone down. What would you suggest, Sherry, as how Heller would bring a new approach to this?
He'd go, well, where was the last place we saw him?
At that terrible club?
Exactly. He's probably gone somewhere familiar.
Well, the little Okefenokee is where you saw him last.
Yeah. His telepresence is the same as real thing. He was in the swamp too, briefly, remotely, maybe in person.
Hmm. How does he do there? Is there enough fail?
Well, I, have my own backup systems, and Roxa was sort of piloting all my me around at that point.
What does that mean?
It means I made very bad decisions in a really upsetting moment. Sort of undid a year or more's worth of work and just sort of ruined everything a little bit.
So would you say that what happened there would be salient to finding Roxo again?
Oh god, do we have to go back into the swamp?
I'm hoping not. But maybe if you told me what was going on.
Well, I was scared and freaked out because there were exploding crocodiles and
I thought they were alligators.
I don't know the difference. There were men in military gear under the water shooting guns at us, and well, Roxo said they could take care of everything, and I just wanted everything taken care of. And then, well, Roxo's back inside my mind and my body again, and then there was a dead person in my hands because I was choking them with my hands, which I could see and sort of feel distantly. I could definitely feel, but also very much see, and it wasn't a part of me, but it was, and it was all very upsetting.
Okay. So he did this thing, got you through a bit, and then what happened?
And then there were Roxo, just being a dick and trying to rub it in and make it all worse.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then nothing. And they got huffy and they were gone.
So you just, I mean, what was the last interaction? Come on, Riddle. Did you tell him to go to hell? What did you do? What did you tell him? What did you say?
I said it was a mistake to let him back in.
Okay. But he helped you, right?
No, he did what he wanted to do. Asked for help in getting out, and instead he went in deeper and strangled a man to death.
Okay. Did that help you get out of there?
I don't know. I mean, we got out.
Okay.
It's not the same thing, though.
So you asked him to take over, and then he did. And then you didn't like how he did it.
I wouldn't say it like that.
Huh. What are you going to say when you find him again, Riddle?
I don't know. Tell
I
him
mean, I think this is part of your problem with Riddle. I mean, it's part of your problem with Riddle, but it's also part of your problem with Roxo.
I don't know.
Because what is it that Roxo does? You've pushed him out. What was it that he did that was wrong? Was it that he killed a man?
And that was part of it. Also, just I guess the fact that I needed to ask, anyways.
So, sounds like there's a few parts of what needs to happen here, right? An apology, maybe a clarification of how the two of you should act with each other.
There's no one to clarify anything with.
And he sort of leans back and goes, "Really? Then why are you worried?"
That's why I'm worried. We can't find them.
But they're nobody. Just a few little pieces of yourself that you put on a separate drive, right?
That's not how any of this has worked, and you know that.
But that's how you're kind of treating it.
Well, that's not helping us find anybody, though.
Your phone rings, Riddle.
What?
woman's voice. Very odd. Kind of, is this riddle blue?
Who is this?
Your friend Roxo gave me this number. Contact information.
Have you heard from Roxo?
Well, obviously, if he gave me this contact information, then yes.
Have you heard from Roxo in the last 24 hours?
Yes.
And?
I think we share a mutual issue and problem that can be solved. And I'm hoping that we can perhaps work together to solve this problem.
All right. I dislike problems and enjoy the solving thereof.
Roxo said that you know where Aegis is.
Roxo says a lot of dangerous nonsense words.
Is it nonsense? If so, I will terminate the communication.
Did Roxo say anything else?
That didn't answer my question. I am proceeding to terminate the conversation.
No. Stop terminating things. Hello?
I understand that you might hold a grudge.
Well, that's not the. I'm sorry. I'm so confused. When did you say you heard from Roxo?
Less than an hour ago.
Okay. Hold on. Hold on.
Who are you talking
No,
to?
Someone very calm and infuriating. I just need to just hold on.
I do not have time for this. And I know that Roxo has already headed there. But he would not tell us where it is and told us to contact you.
Shit, Roxo's going straight for Aegis like an idiot.
We gotta go. And sort of stands up. Who is this? Come on.
But I don't know who it is. Roxo's been making. Who are you, anyways?
My name is Henrietta.
Okay, well, this is Henrietta. Henrietta,
I'm the one who unfortunately put your face into that porcelain toilet bowl.
Henrietta, this is Heller. Heller, this is Henrietta. She's a jerk.
We're looking for the same things as you are, and we can hopefully come to some kind of détente.
Only if you're going to destroy Dusk too.
Let's take our first break here, and then we'll come back. 10 minutes. We're again getting my dwarven Pinterest board together.
And Tyler and I have been talking through playbooks.
Let's square this key here. Oh, there's a cat back to float above your shoulder. Is Tumba with you, Sherry, or is she still downstairs?
She's still downstairs.
Okay.
She's probably making sure the other cat doesn't, break out. And
Break out of the kitchen.
exactly.
Smash through into the rest of the house.
Like she's never done.
That cat.
Homo is the Gestapo.
Does not like the holidays because schedules change. And she just, this is abhorrent to her. Okay. Comes that. So I'm going to not resume recording because I forgot to stop recording. So there's a wonderful dead air there for somebody if they were watching this and cursing their fortunes. So they say yes.
That's
What
good.
was the question again?
Copernicus Dusk created us. We are made from people and bits of his subconscious and whatever things he could piece together, and then he slammed us into transmission that ran us through a black box that scrambled us up and made us what we are. And we will never be free until he is dead. Because as soon as he gets out, he will take us over. And he will make us colonize the veil. I don't think the people that have him understand what they're playing with. They've been using his tech to make people like us, to infect and change them. And if he gets free, and he will eventually, he will destroy the veil. The veil will become him.
And so that's what Roxo's running straight at.
Exactly the right impulse. Let's go follow him, Riddle.
Exactly the wrong execution.
Really? What should we do? Something
no,
careful and
him.
cautious? Oh,
Yes,
I don't
that's
think
what
you
we
have
should
any faith in him.
What? Whose side are you on?
Is there a side? He's a part of you.
Roxo's Roxo.
Now Roxo is Roxo.
Okay. Yes, I say over your comm. Let's do this. Come on.
Let's bring the group back together, shall we?
Yes.
Let's pull the two of you back to where I assume you have some kind of 3D display set up, Gabriel. And information can be shared about the plan, about Marley, what you want to do, about the dollbot occupying species, and so on. and you can talk about next steps.
Well, I suppose that does push forward our time of objective if your companion friend is he's just charging in. Is that what you're saying, Riddle?
Well, I mean, we started from the same place, so I'd like to think that he'll approach things a bit more rationally, or at least better planned than all that. But yeah, basically, maybe.
I have activated some assets that should be able to provide us some overwatch. We've found a way in.
Excellent. What is it? I'll get myself prepped.
It is an entry through the river, so
Yes.
It will be a bit wet, but on the positive note, it shouldn't be a sewer. Precisely.
Why can't we ever just fall out of something tall? That sounds refreshingly thrilling and short.
Well, I thought that a bit of a watery entrance would also perhaps suit Marley a bit well.
I have no problem at all with it.
Traitor.
It also means that
You have a suit that keeps water out. I don't know what the problem is.
this facility is one that also does the periodic poisoning of the Okefenokee. This may be a true horde of damaging information about this group. This may be our key to exposing them in a way that cannot be ignored.
Do we have explosives? Because I think that's a good backup plan too.
I admit that I don't have any in my back pocket, but never bad to have explosives, I suppose.
Right.
That would be Emporium. There is a move for that. That still costs you cred, but...
Let me see if I got any cred. Heller has 2 cred. I'll put it on the table.
Clink, clink.
I also have 2 cred, which I also put on the table. And like, if we need explosives, there's that. Is that our plan?
We just have to be ready to bring down parts of the infrastructure. In dusk.
And dusk. The people that contacted you, Riddle, are they also taking part in this? Why did they want to know where he was?
I think so that they could charge wildly screaming forward after Roxo.
Riddle has no faith in anyone not himself. I like to think that you think of me that way, don't you?
Well, having them as a distraction may be helpful for our infiltration. I wouldn't mind picking up something if we're going shopping. We should do it quickly, but I think I know somewhere that we could find what we're looking for. And Lowell, I'm going to burn my string on the Badger Associates I got with my 10 plus.
Okay.
To get myself my 1 capital and immediately convert it to cred.
3 cred.
So now I have 3 cred. And
now you have 7 cred.
Oh, well, I mean,
yeah,
but I plan to spend my 3 on me. But 4 creds should buy good explosives as well.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm wanting to buy a mono-tipped stiletto that will be 3 creds worth of a weapon.
Okay. Let's have you roll because you're under a time clock. Let's have you roll Emporium.
Emporium. Yeah. Oh, that's in the other moves, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm going to be rolling with I'm rolling that with I think I'm pretty happy about this pull. So I'll be rolling with joy.
Okay.
All right. That's an 11.
That's an 11 to choose 3.
Yes. So cost what I expect. I have the real deal, not a knockoff. And I have it right now.
Okay. So you got to go to this place.
Yep. But I figured we got to go to pick up explosives as well.
Yep.
So basically, I'm bringing them to the back door of my guild's armory.
Who wants to roll the Emporium for getting a 4 creds worth of explosives?
Let's see here. We roll one of our stats.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay. I'll roll it. I know how to use explosives.
Okay.
So roll with power. Dunk.
Yeah, I mean, the other 2 of us are currently in the middle of like paranoid fear-based breakdowns, so maybe don't send us to the bomb store.
Okay, well, it's okay. I'm using dice, so there's nothing, great that's gonna happen here. So 7 plus 2 is 9.
Okay.
Let's see here.
I get to choose 2.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you spend I don't know if any of my
I'll spend a bond to
Okay.
give you that +1.
Cool. Excellent. So then I have 3. I'll choose the same 3. They cost what I expect. They have them now. We have to go get them.
So you have 4 points worth of explosives.
Okay.
When you go to solve a problem with explosives, tell me how much of that 4-point pool of explosives you're using to solve the problem.
Thank you.
And then we'll roll.
Okay, that sounds perfect.
Does that seem fair? Like a good way to handle that?
That sounds like a perfect way to handle it.
Marley, what are you telling them about what you've come to?
Yeah, entering from the river, there are people with, the same abilities I have. I don't want to put them in danger. I think I've already done enough of that. Like
Marley,
maybe I've learned from experience.
This is their fight the same as it is ours. As I say, this is where the poison originates.
Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have even brought this up.
If you think they can help,
I'll go talk to them. I'll talk to them. I'm gonna make it very clear what we're up against, but if anyone wants to help anyway.
So like, can you do that thing like you did with the steam shovel, like to this building?
Probably not the whole building.
Well, maybe just the computer bank that Dusk is in, if we can find him.
We can get there. Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
There are plenty of ways to destroy it, and I can definitely do some of those ways.
All right.
So let's cut quickly to Marley. you're going to talk to Azalea.
Yep.
And kind
Probably
of
while they're off buying bombs.
buying bombs. Azalea and the other people. What is your tactic here? Are you going to lean on Azalea because you know what she was involved in? Are you going to appeal to her better side? Are you going to do some other tactic?
I'm gonna try to appeal to her better side. Like, we're all from the same place. We've all seen the effects of this stuff. And I know who did it, and I know that they're still doing it, and I know where to find them. Like, I think I just sort of lay it all out. I don't tell them like when and where we're going to attack. At least not before getting some commitment here. But yeah, I definitely like. Look, if we were. I know some people that Aegis also has a problem with. If we were to sneak in, blow a lot of things up, we could use some people attacking from the river, just causing havoc. And I want to make it very clear that this is dangerous. Aegis has a lot of power. They sent 10 very well-armed people after us. When we were only after Demise, we weren't even attacking them. So I don't want to ask anyone to throw their lives away here. But if you know people who would be interested in revenge, now's the time.
What do you want to roll this with?
What do I want to roll this with? God. Well, let's see. I'm either going to remove a spike in fear or spike out mad or sad. I think this is fear. I think like I am really, really, really not. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be asking people to do this, but we need help.
So you're rolling with a 0 then.
Yep.
Is there anything that you're using cyber-wise to assist?
No, I don't think so, but I have I have a hold to use advantage from
That's
transmission.
Right. Yeah. So roll.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Roll with a plus 0 with advantage.
Oops.
So that's an 8. I'll do this. I will get people organized on 2 conditions. I'm not asking for cred, so don't walk away immediately. Promise to show us how to do this afterwards, beyond what you're going to show us, like you're going to show us the raw power now, but when this is over, you need to show us how to do this more.
To the extent that I know.
That's all we can ask.
Absolutely.
And 2, we're not combat people, but your friend Aura is. If you get her and her crew along to defend us while we try to utilize these powers.
I'll do my best. I actually just spent all of my cred on weapons, so
Or it takes no convincing because this is what Aura wants to do. It does, however,
that's
put
right.
Aura
Yes.
in the line of fire. Are you
Um,
cool with that, Marley?
yes, I think I am.
Okay.
Like, yeah, because she has wanted to do this kind of stuff. Like this is what she does. So I think like I do. I don't emphasize the warnings as much
Right.
as like, yeah, these people are dangerous. But and I do tell her that, but like, yeah, it's not a. She knows
Hey,
what she's getting into.
if we get a chance to bring down the corpse, yeah, we'll cover your psychers and get them set. So, as I understand it, uh, we have the possessed dollbots providing a distraction. We have Aura and the psychics and Azalea Flow using their abilities to create problems. And you have your Overwatch infiltrator in place to assist Gabriel, and the four of you are going to make your way in. Is there anything else I should know? Let's just check in with Haller and Riddle before you get and go into the river. Haller, anything else?
I think I stop and I go, listen, you'll take care of revision, right?
I'll take care of it, but you realize you're the one that has to be there to unlock it. Like, if you're not there, I can't get in, much less access revision systems.
Riddle, you've kind of been a mess during this, but what are you doing?
Um, I don't know. I don't know if he's managing to do anything proactive.
Are you trying to like get yourself more emotionally balanced? Are you leaning into that? What do you think is the state there? Even if you're not doing anything sort of practical, are you trying to find some kind of center? Are you talking to uh your Genji? Like what do you think?
Um, I don't know. I feel like if anything, he'd still just be searching for Roxo, like any sign that he could find of that.
Okay. Uh so we got a couple of ways we can do that. We can do like an assess roll if you want to do a roll. Alternately, if you're just doing this to distract yourself, we can take a couple of spikes off of fear.
I like that option.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and take two dots off of your fear spike, essentially as you throw yourself into distraction.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of taking the edge off of that.
Feels like I'm doing something, I'm just not actually accomplishing anything.
I know that feeling quite well. So I assume that since we've already had kind of an underwater adventure before, when you guys went in your submarine, you have at least something of the gear that you need to do this.
Can I get off a strategize?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Since we had our discussion, and I'm going to try and give it a shot. I'm going with power. This is the best setup we could possibly hope for. We got as much assets on the board as we could have.
I also need to roll back to Riddle and Heller, since I think we need to check our intimacy move triggers from before too.
Ooh, that's a good point. Woo! I got a 13.
A 13. So on strategize, that gives you 3 hold. What does that give you?
Yeah, 3 hold.
3 hold. I do think Riddle, Heller, we definitely triggered an intimacy move. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I was definitely gonna try and circle back to it whenever we did the thing with revision, but
Yeah.
I think all of this has triggered that.
So Riddle, you will get a bond on Heller, and Heller, you'll get a bond on Riddle. And then let's look at your intimacy moves. So what is your intimacy move, Riddle?
So, mine is gain an imagination and roll without adding a state. On a hit, all is well. On a miss, they're added to your subconscious as a named NPC. And this is actually sort of a meta conversation I wanted to have with you, Sherry, because through that avenue, like choosing to lean into a miss, I could see a story where like having to download revision through Heller's brain through Riddle's cyber brain leaves this like mostly true, some sort of lasting echo of Heller that could be like a tag, a thing that goes forward into the future, and maybe that Heller would follow a similar path of like Roxo, of us finding a way to incorporate them, make them a person. But like I don't know what your long-term epilogue goals for Heller are.
I am perfectly willing with you having a, what do you say, a version of Heller that you've got, that you've stored, like that being one of those legacy things, and Heller not really having any sense of that, but like going, yeah, record this so that if things go wrong, still can do this.
Let's have you roll, Riddle.
So I'm actually interested in just leaning into the
You want to
miss
voluntarily
condition
take the miss?
Yeah.
Okay. I won't give you the XP for it, but I will let you take the miss. And Sherry, what about you?
So mine doesn't have a roll to it. It's like things speak. It triggers automatically as if I rolled a 10 plus. I can ask these questions of the person that I'm intimate with. So I can ask like this whole slew of questions.
Rude, invasive, how dare.
Yeah. But I think that
But by the way, you can't dismantle him.
Are you sure? There's so many different ways to do it.
Heller knows a lot of dark secrets about Riddle at this point. I don't think it would take much.
Yeah. I think the first question is, what do you wish that Heller would do? Like really, really, really.
He wishes that you would. He doesn't understand why your need to save revision is necessarily mutually exclusive to your own survival. He wishes you would fight for your own survival in some way. Not an exclusion of fighting for revision, but like he just doesn't see where you're trying at all. He wishes you would.
Let's see here. What? I think I like this. Who do you belong to?
Uh I think the same person that Roxo does. They both belong to the obsessive neuroses of someone who died by their own creation.
Oh, interesting. And I'm going to use the question, are you sentient? Are you aware of this? Like, do you acknowledge this, Riddle? While we're having this conversation, does it at least flash through your head?
I think through this, Riddle, while not at all willing to like outwardly admit it, is starting to realize that he is not the same person that started this process. That it hasn't just been a process of altering and shaping Roxo, that by choosing the things that he's chosen and doing the things to himself that he's done, that he's like categorically not that person anymore. And this weird, like, there's a lack of continuity that he's starting to see in his own timeline.
Mm-hmm. All right, excellent. And then what's wrong with this and how can I help fix it? And this is literally Heller asking Riddle, what do you need me to do?
Just promise me that you can see a day after the final step of your goals here.
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to believe it, but if you could just envision it, it's realer than it was before.
Gabriel.
Oh.
I'm going to give you a choice.
Oh, I hate choices.
You can either make an approach roll, or you can spend one of your strategize points and we'll read it as a 7 to 9. You won't have to roll.
Now I want to roll.
Okay. Let this donut be on your head.
Yes. Oh, delicious donut. Rolling with fear.
Okay.
This is all about caution. I don't think my last remaining cyberware is going to be on this one. All right, come on, baby. Nope. That's what it should have been. Yep.
Wow.
Okay,
That's
in
what
that
it should have
case, we need to take our second break here and we'll come back.
been.
I'll put that clock there down at the thing. So the four of you are moving in essentially rebreathers, probably some propulsion transports, handheld to move you under the river. You don't want anything big because you need to be getting through some grates and vents and things like that. Badger has already clipped out segments for you to get through, has already gone in and done a map, has given you all the instructions on where you need to go, has programmed that in. So it's almost just hold on to these things, and these kind of drone underwater devices will move you in. And you are moving in, and you are very close to what you know is sort of an underwater access way that you get to before the coolant, where there's some treatment stuff that you can get out, when all of you will hear this like thunderous sound that echoes and reverberates in the water, and then a wrenching sound like metal giving way, and the water just turns current. And there's a moment when you are pushed and you see part of the wall of the piping that you're in tears and gives way, and the four of you are thrown out into this treatment. Like we're down, there's probably like grates for the walkways here, and there are big coolant pipes and things like that around, and concrete bunkers and things like that. The four of you are thrown out there, and there are alarms going off and lights and things, and you can hear the building itself giving way. And and you can feel, Marley, that their power combined was much stronger than you expected, and they have let loose, and they have destroyed the foundations and the structure of this place. And you can tell you don't have much time here before this entire arcology is going to come crashing down on your heads. You might say you have 6 segments on the clock, in fact, before this arcology comes crashing down. So thrown out into this land here, Riddle, what's the first thing you do? Slammed against a pipe down here, water all around, alarms, lights flashing. Probably hear people screaming in the distance, like that things, shouting, because you can see little gauges going up into the red,
Fighting for somewhere, that's not waterlogged and drowny that we can land.
Okay. So can I try and control the, like, that feels like risk. As you kind of move to try and get this group set. So yeah, what do you want to roll that with? Is that you ticking down some more fear?
Yeah.
Or do you want to clear your fear by rolling with something else at a penalty?
I mean, I do in general, but I feel like Whitewater Death Rapids is maybe not the exact moment to do that.
Sure. Roll with a +1 unless you want to click a cyber.
It's 0, I think.
Yeah, sorry, with a 0, unless you want to roll with cyber.
I don't think my particular cyberware is helping in this situation.
Maybe not your strong suit.
All right. That is a 9.
That is a 9. I think you grab on to the drones around you, and push them along with the water, and grab on and direct, so that you kind of wash out with the last of the jets from these things into a relatively safe area. But I think as you are concentrating on that, you clip at a high speed into one of these metal tubes, sticking out of the ground things. And you're going to take 2 harm, essentially, as you bash your head against that.
Ow. I don't like that at all.
Okay. This happens, crash down. You're clearly in, the mechanicals, the bowels of this facility here. Marley, what do you do? Riddle has kind of gotten you washed up into a safe point. What's your next step?
So that was way more than I expected. This whole place is going to come down. We have to do this immediately. Get out. Where is it?
Wait, that was you?
Not me. The people I talked to.
Oh.
They're a
Oh.
little more enthusiastic than I expected.
Very impressive.
Maybe we should have called them sooner.
Yeah.
So Marley, it feels like you want to lift the veil to figure out where you need to
Yeah.
go in the
I
facility.
want to know
Now,
where
let
to
me
go.
ask you this question. Are you more interested in A, getting to where the information is to be able to take Aegis down, B, getting to where the chemical pollutants are being produced here, or C, getting to where Copernicus dusk is?
Um, I think I'm going for. No, I think I want the information to take Aegis down.
Okay. All right. Then let's go ahead and have you roll lift the veil.
I think it's probably safe to say fear is still probably still the
Sure.
way to go here.
Are you clicking any
Oh,
cyberware?
yeah, actually. Yeah, cyber ear. I
That
think
makes
this
sense.
is
Yeah.
more listening for where it is. Okay. All right, cyber ear brings it up to a 7.
Get to 7. So on a 7, you can tell that they've got 2 major computer facilities in this, kind of split in different areas, very clearly separated. And you can tell the way you need to go for their computer banks is up that direction. What is the big obstacle right now, physically or security or whatever, for the 4 of you getting there?
I think it's physical. I think it's, big, heavy doors, just walls basically slide down into place.
Start
Because,
seeing, emergency.
they're on the water. They expect floods. So,
Yeah.
like, when it detects a flood, all these waterproof doors come down and the people are expected to get to the top and fly up in helicopters.
Absolutely. And the you start making your way there. Let's come to you, Heller. Heller, what are you doing? You know now where the information to take down Aegis is located, where the banks are for that. But that path has some obstacles. What do you want to do?
I think that I kind of like, we have Henrietta and company with us, right?
You asked them to be a distraction, so they are drawing off security.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna make sure I know where the dusk stuff is, if that makes any sense. You said there's 2 things, so it has to be that other bank, or
so you want to try and figure out the pathway to where Copernicus is?
Yes.
Okay, that's lift the veil.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my eye, which is multispectrum and telescopic and all that stuff, as a thing that actually allows me to click or to roll with advantage.
Okay.
And then I will use fear. And so I'm rolling with advantage and I'm adding 2. So that gives me an 8.
That gives you an 8.
Yeah, thank God I rolled with advantage there.
So what? It's a completely different direction to get to Copernicus. What is the obstacle, the barrier right now that is in the way of that?
Oh. I think it's literally a building inside this building. And its foundations are like it's weird. They got like a gyroscope underneath it almost. Like they aren't crumbling. They're sort of detached from the rest of this building. Now the rest of this building may come down on it, but it's like earthquake proof and that kind of stuff is what's going on. So it's like kind of, there's a moat almost to get to it, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Gabriel, I come back to you. Let's swing around. You've been given information, one direction for the information to take out Aegis, the other direction of dealing with Copernicus. What do you do? How do you divide your forces?
We have to get this information on Aegis, and obviously Dusk must go. I hate to think of splitting us up. Do we think should we go as a unit, take one, then to the other? Quick thoughts. Riddle.
I have to go towards Dusk. That's where Roxo's going to be.
Heller.
And it says we need to do both.
Marley, you and I go for the information banks?
Yeah. Yeah, and whoever finished up first, come and help the others.
Gag rush the other.
Okay.
I reach out and take Heller and Riddle's hand. Be careful. I expect to see us all back together when this is over. We still have a lot to do.
Gabriel, the block that is there for passage to those records is a physical one. Are these blast doors and things like that? How are you solving that problem? What are you doing to get past?
I spend a point of my strategize as I pull out a lock descrambler. It may not be able to get us into the highest end, but certainly should be able to work us in that direction. It's kind of like a box you put up to the thing and it moves through.
Perfect. That gives you fiction and positioning to roll risk.
All right. I spend one strategize. And I'm rolling with power. This is what I do.
Okay.
I've got the right thing. I'm going for it. All right. Come on, roll well. That's an 8.
That is an 8. So I think you have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it quickly, or rather, sorry, you can get through all the way, but we're going to tick the clock forward a ways, or we'll leave the clock alone, a tick.
Oh, okay.
Or it's going to require a sort of a change of direction for you to get to there.
So time. Marley, this looks like it's going to be dirty.
Yeah.
I think we've got to hurry.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm kind of looking around nervously, like, this is
take the tick on the bringing the stuff down, but Brett busts through.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll come back to Marley in just a second as these things wrench, and when they wrench open this auto lock thing, like you click them, but things are kind of already set out of whack, so you can hear stuff give when those doors come open and the building itself shakes. Riddle, how are you overcoming the obstacle of this enclosed environment, this moated off area that has Copernicus Dusk's servers and such inside?
And it's like security doors in our way?
Sure. Yeah.
Or points of explosives if you want them.
Oh, that is a good point.
You've got 4 points worth of explosives to use.
Yeah. I think some, judicious, cautious use of explosive, just like around the seaming, like the lock part of the door.
Sure. How much do you want to spend?
Heller, do you blow up a lot of doors?
I don't just have money for explosives. Mostly I take like a bat to them, but this is all novel. Tell me what you want me to do. I'll set it up.
I mean, half feels right. Like it's not a small door.
Sure. Then
Sure.
we could use the other half on Dusk's main server thing, right?
Roll with a
Exactly.
+2.
Three and three, 2 is 8.
It's 8. So I think you will set up this and you will crack open the physical infrastructure of this thing. You tear that open and move inside. And I think Riddle, I think you can communicate this to Heller immediately. You will realize that Dusk is not in a server. Rather, there is a server, a piece of machinery that is keeping Dusk locked in because he has a fully virtual existence.
Oh.
We'll come back to that in just one moment. Marley, you will make your way in. By this point, we've got some security to deal with. They're up in that area. You're hearing the sound of gunfire as the people outside are kind of laying in with the small arms now that they've kind of realized that maybe they've overdone it. And the building itself is starting to come down here. What is this major obstacle to like actually getting to the section that has the information that you need? Is this a technical problem? Is this a security problem? Is this a physical problem?
I think it's a security problem,
Okay.
but I think it's so I think what it is it's like what the cameras that are up in the corners, but these also are armed. So the camera detects motion and shoots at it.
So how is Marley going to deal with that problem with the skills that they have at their disposal?
Yeah, let's see here. Probably badly. Okay. I'm going to use a move that is not meant to be used as a weapon. And
That's never stopped anyone.
No. Improvised weapons are great. Improvised moves as improvised weapons, they're even better. I'm going to use anchor.
Okay.
And I'm going to create an anchor here.
Okay. When you create an anchor, say how do you want this location to echo the qualities or states of your homeland?
Well, I mean, it kind of already echoes the qualities of wetlands.
Okay.
And
So-
the states are the important thing. One of the states I have selected is peace.
Okay. So you want to essentially neutralize that way.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and have you roll. What are you going to roll that with?
Ooh. Is this still fear or is this? I think this is actually power.
Okay.
Which means I clear fear. Joy. Yeah. It's -2 or is it -1? I don't remember.
Choo-choo train.
It's you roll with a 0 when you have it spiked.
But I'm unspiking it and rolling something else.
-2 then.
-2. Okay. Awesome. That can't possibly go wrong. Wait. Oh, it says +2. Okay, yeah, that failed horribly. Give me a
Okay.
tiny bit of hope because it said 7, but no.
It did. What do you lose of yourself?
I lose of myself. So I came here like this is my big chance to free myself from my homeland and like not owe anybody anything. I think I lose that hope. I think I have like having all these people outside who I have agreed to like show them how to do this and I have put them in danger. I lose my hope of ever not being obligated to my homeland.
Would you please lock joy? Put a cross
right.
mark through it. Until you do something to drastically change that, you cannot roll with joy.
Okay.
Gabriel, you see, I'm kind of switching up the order a little bit here. You see, if you've made it through those doorways, you've gotten into some of the computer facilities. Like there's more automated stuff here because people, the physical people here, like they're not coming to interfere because the building is coming down and they are running for their dear lives. But as you come in here, you see those mechanicals come up and you see Marley, you see the effect that you've seen before when Marley like reaches in and then Marley collapses. Even as the cameras and the stuff go offline, the security goes down in here, but Marley crashes to the ground.
Are you all right? I'll rush over and smack them kind of. Wake up, are you all right?
Yeah, let's finish this. Let's go.
How did they look physically? I mean,
Physically, they look fine, but you can see that something has died behind their eyes.
I'll kind of lean in close and we've got to move now. We will address this later. I'm here for you. We're going to win.
All right.
There we go.
Let's go.
Up. And I'll kind of pull them to their feet and begin moving towards.
So you've got a complex computer terminal, but the people who would be operating like the interference and stuff like that, a lot of that is offline right now. Those protections are down and gone, but that is still a role here.
Okay.
So
to try and access this information and pull it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the risk is you are going to get this information, but the risk is that it will be partial or incomplete.
All right. Is this basically a risk?
Yep.
All right. All right, Marley. This is going to be delicate. Keep an eye, hopefully, between the two of us. We can get this done. I don't have any cyberware. Can I spend a strategize to bring up an equipment piece that would act as a +1?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Or I give myself a +1 4.
Yeah, I was going to
I
say
could give
your
myself one.
strategy.
Yeah, I can. I
I
don't
mean
need
that
to
you
do
already
the extra
had some
bits.
equipment
Yeah.
prepared for
All
this
right.
kind of thing.
Okay. Well, I think this is the moment. This is it. I think I'm rolling with power. This is what it's got to hit. I have all my stuff.
Right.
This is what I'm supposed to do.
So you're rolling with a +3.
All right, here we go. That's a 9.
That is a 9.
I could spin the +1 forward.
No, because the max is a +3.
Can someone give a help? Yeah.
Marley, do you want to try and help?
Yes, I would like to
Okay.
try to help.
Do you
I
have a
don't have any
bond?
bonds.
Okay,
No.
then let's have you roll help.
Okay. Help is with the same.
Whatever stat you want to roll with.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'm actually. Damn it, I'm gonna spike outside. All right. So back to a 0. Oh wait, no, I guess that's okay. Oh. Wait. Yeah, no, that I failed.
You've got a 5.
So right now, this takes longer than you would like. And you're trying to get at the stuff. I mean, you're getting it out. You avoid the problem of the information being incomplete, but the building is falling apart around you. It's coming crashing down. You can hear it giving and twisting, and you'll see, like, the way you came in, you'll hear this sound of crashing, and that hallway collapses. Meanwhile, Heller, Riddle, you have this moment of realization. Heller, what do you want to do?
I sort of turn to Riddle and I go, so essentially we have to preserve this building and this server. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, I mean, not if we want to get rid of him. We just, get rid of this server.
Except if the server goes away, then he'll get out. The server is what's trapping him.
It's his prison.
Then, yeah.
Okay. This is going to sound weird. I have systemic surgery. I can essentially, I know how the city works and this stuff, and I already know that it has this separate thing, the separate foundations and things like that. I also know what's beneath it. And I would like to make a roll to find some way to preserve this thing in a safe place in this city, if this makes any sense.
Interesting. I like this. What do you want to roll that with?
Let's see here. Well, let's roll it with fear. I think fear makes a lot of sense. And I am probably going to I'm probably going to use my like ear wide spectrum and stuff, and this is essentially to get a sense of like
Sure,
more
sure.
like what the status of everything is with this building and its state. So essentially, I'm going to use that, but that's to give me again
+1 or advantage.
Advantage. So I'm
Okay.
going to roll two.
And what are you rolling with?
And fear. So that's a
Okay.
+2. So I'm rolling with
+2 and with advantage.
yeah. So and I should so so that gives me an 8 + 2 is a 10.
He's a 10. So on a 10 plus there, you get to choose two. What I think you will realize is, and I'll let you make some choices here in a second, that there are systems in the city that this is connected to that you can repurpose to make another prison, so that when this building comes down, you can move it out. But Riddle will have to push when you kind of do that transmission, Riddle is going to have to like push Dusk out into there.
Okay. So I do have the ability to redirect something to somewhere else.
Okay.
And
lock someone in.
Yeah, essentially, and lock someone in.
Okay.
So this is the thing is like, and I will essentially rattle off all of the connections that this thing has that have been carefully sort of like placed away. Like this was how they got him here to start with, but then it's disconnected. So we have to kind of reconnect it to the thing and then pick where we're going to put this thing, where we're moving it to, because then it will become our anchor around our neck.
All right.
Done this thing.
So is this going to be more about the kick or Cryptomancer to like?
I think it could be reconfigure. It could be Pocket Realm. It could be I say not Pocket Realm because they still need physical. It could be the kick. It could be Cryptomancer. I'm good with any of those ways you want to approach this. Essentially, you've got that microsecond when Heller shuts this off and turns on the other thing, connects it up to move him out before he can escape into the wider veil.
I think maybe it's reconfigure because Heller's choices there are sort of handling both what the kick and Cryptomancer would do, but he needs something to put all of this in. So I have my personal veil backup simulation that I can quickly try and reconfigure and cut off from its outside accesses for Heller to dump the horrible thing in and lock up. Even though it's my system, it's my personal system, and I won't be able to use it because it's got something horrible in it, and it's my system.
But it'll be just for a second. What could go wrong?
What indeed?
What do you
Yeah,
want
I
to roll
think
that with?
what he's trying to remove is any personal traces and connections left behind, and I don't know if that'll be entirely successful, but we'll see.
So rolling with fear? Or are you rolling with something else at a -2?
I feel like there's not a more dramatic time to do it, so yeah. I think I am trying to remember times in Genji's monastery and like things they've said to me to try and peace. Everything is calm. This is gonna go perfectly. I just need to envision that this is going right and it'll go right.
All right.
And I am marking my backup simulation because it may well blow up in the process. So
Okay.
that's just a -1 then. It's a 9. -1 is 8.
That is an 8.
I can give you a +1 if we can figure out another +1.
I can give you a +1 from the strategize.
That's
this
right,
is
because you
all
can
part of
reach
the
out
plan.
across. Pick 3 options and gain an imagination.
So yeah, I think the change is not noticed. The security systems here don't notice the shuffling of some information.
It's more important, I think, that Dusk doesn't notice.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
I think there's this moment when you're in Dusk space and he pushes in like, this is a way out of the veil, and you keep his attention on you, and then when he comes at you like in that virtual space, and he looks like a glowing seraphim angel, that's his self-image, of course, and he just absolutely freaking bounces off of you.
I think I'm gonna gain an imagination because the charged imagination weakness on the backup simulation. I think this makes sense to like have this on a burning timer of how long I can keep this thing separate and clean.
So
and then don't suffer feedback and my subconscious stays repressed. I don't know, maybe there's some sign of Roxo, or maybe I didn't manage to completely depersonalize this space before we shoved him in.
I think there is a moment there like you have of hesitation, and I think you feel a shift, and you feel Ares step out of you to kind of fill that gap, and looks back and says, "You need to make your peace." And then it's gone.
What? What does that mean? No, we are not sharing tricks.
And you don't feel Ares there anymore.
Fuck.
Tell me what the race looks like, Marley and Gabriel, of getting the F out of here. Like, what is the run? Gabriel, let's start with you.
Are we running? Or are we trying to find our friends like we said we would, Marley?
I'm running to them, and
I'm
would
running
be
to them
if we
too.
were all there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, I need both of you to roll risk.
All right.
Awesome.
As we've got the information, is that correct?
That you did.
Yeah.
Before we start running,
You want to take the time to make that roll?
Well,
I think
what I'm wanting to do is start a download in a transmission to Gwen saying, "This is the most dangerous information you will ever see. Do not open it if you are not ready. But the world needs to know this."
That's backroom dealings.
It is. Because if we don't live through it, it was all for nothing. All right.
What do you want to roll with?
I think I'm rolling with
Power. Gonna spike that out.
no, I don't. I think I'm rolling this with joy because I know that Gwen is going to do this for me.
Okay. Roll with a +1.
Yeah. Come on, baby. That's an 11.
That is an 11. What are your picks here?
Let's see. So 10 plus I get 2.
You get 2. I will give you as an additional option on that list. Don't tick the clock forward.
All right, let's not tick the clock forward.
Okay.
So I've got 1 left. You get them to inadvertently or deliberately admit their wrongdoing as part of this coming out. I'm spending capital. I'm spending both capital. This is the biggie. This is my thing to do.
Okay. You spend 2 capitals, you can insulate yourself and your friends.
Oh, see.
That includes your loved ones.
That's true. I really wanted to trigger actions by one of my target's enemies. All right. I'll insulate myself and my friends from reprisals.
You wipe their names off of this, and you will upload this, and they've laid their plans out clearly here. Absolutely. And you will send that up the pipeline. Marley, Tyler, Gabriel, both of you roll risk. You had to take a little bit of time here. You're running, trying to get through the facility to get back to where Riddle and Heller are. What do you want to roll risk with, Marley?
It's a sad or fear. I think I'm going to keep sad. Let's see if I have anything useful. No, I don't think I do, but I think I like turn to Gabriel as we start running. I say, if we can't get to them, grab hold of me. I can get us out of here. But I want to get all of us.
I agree.
And yeah. Roll risk. Oh my god, that's not good.
So
the dice do not like me today.
There is a moment as you are running along when a chunk of this building comes down and you are struck by just a falling piece of metal, and the edge cuts across you for 3 harm. Do you have any armor?
No, I do not.
Okay. And I'm going to tick the clock up 1. Gabriel, kind of running along, grab Marley as they get hit by this falling debris. What do you want to roll your risk with?
I'm rolling with fear for sure.
Fair enough.
And I think I'm going to use my eyes. The low light and telescopic should help. All right. That's a 9.
That is a 9. Cause complication. So I think we click 5 of 6. Riddle, Heller, if you can feel as you get done with this, what is your reaction after you've shifted Copernicus? Riddle, what does Heller see?
I think he just looks like sick. Like his whole animation has gone like green around the edges and stuttery and jittering, and he says, I do not like the feel of this.
Is it all set? Can we move out?
Yes, we just need to do it fast and soon.
Yeah, let's
not a
do it
lot of
now.
time.
And I will sort of take him, like put my arm through his arm, and he doesn't have to navigate. All he has to do is keep moving his feet forward.
So let's have you roll risk to get out to meet up with Gabriel and Marley.
All right. I think that I will. Let's see here. Yeah, I will roll, and I might as well use. I will use. Let's see here. Probably my right hand. In the sense that it allows me to grab a hold of things and move us forward, even when the rubble's really bad and stuff like that. So, yeah. And again, that's just me. I'm going to use power, or no, I'll probably use fear because I'm worried about Riddle. That makes sense. So I'm rolling 3d6 again, adding 2. So that's 11 plus 2 is 13.
So you will drag Riddle, no problem, up, and you will see a wounded Marley and Gabriel come running the other direction. Marley, are you moving people out of here?
Yeah. I was hoarding essence for a reason. Yeah, I would like to use Viaduct and spend all of my essence to get us all out of here.
Okay. You have Heller there, so you have an anchor, so you roll with advantage.
Yep. I also have an anchor at the safe house, so like oh good.
You can do it.
That's an 8. And what did you roll with?
I rolled with sad. Yeah. I didn't check any gear, but it wouldn't have mattered.
So that is
So it's an 8.
That is an 8.
I have a bond on Marley that I can spend to help.
Takes that to the 9. Does anyone else have a bond?
I have used all mine.
I have a bond with Marley.
You spend that. So you grab on, hold Marley up, and out of here. And you can feel the forces of your allies outside kind of push and move you out of here easily as this entire building comes down, crashes down, blows up. I imagine that the visuals we see is 10,000 distributed slices of Copernicus dusk buried in the system bowels of this city, trapped forever, unable to reassemble, decaying and dying off like fireflies as his bits of essence go out over the next several months. And I imagine that within 24 hours, because of the news cycle, the revelations of Aegis, the revelations of the dumping, the poisons, the experiments on people, all of that goes out. Their connection to those attacks on the music companies, which brings that whole war to a clattering stop, as suddenly all of those businesses have an enemy to take on, and that changes the whole dynamic of things there.
You will be satired, sir.
And we're going to move to epilogues. Wow. Marley, your problems have been solved. a lot of the problems, the issues that were driving you have been solved. There are others that are at play. But what do you think your epilogue is? What do we see? Immediate future or down the road, a couple of scenes, however you want to do it.
I think Marley like goes to Heller and is like, "Hey, do you want to see some alligators?"
Yes. Yes, I do.
Because I have some people I need to tell about what just happened, and there's a whole lot of alligators where they are.
Awesome.
So we get a little montage of the trip of Heller having a chance to go and see the alligators, maybe a few of the people from Little Okefenokee traveling with you, maybe gathering up some of the other weirdlings there in that place. Your brother traveling with you and your parents embracing you and slapping the shit out of your brother. I think that's a lot of what you see is them yelling at him. Though you do see they have all of his albums.
Yeah.
Riddle, what about you?
So I think what we see is Riddle and Heller like back in that weird little cubicle in the like test facility as we have the doll bot there as well, and Riddle's explaining, so I can act as a bridge for the two of you to this thing, but Heller, the proprietary code lockdowns in this place are insane. The only way that we're going to get deep enough access to this thing's programming is if you convince it that you're going through a life or death medical emergency.
And I go, oh, that's no problem.
All right. I guess lay back on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And Riddle, with like one hand around the wrist of the doll bot, very like slowly reaches out the other hand to touch Heller's forehead and begin with whatever is going to happen there.
Okay. And you see that pretty much Heller just kind of pulls his shirt up and he pulls away a bandage that had like a bunch of pressure on it. And as soon as the pressure comes off, you see all the alarms go off. Like he's close.
What happens in the long term, Heller?
I think he holds on. I mean, certainly revision keeps him alive, through that situation, patches him up sufficiently. We get revision transferred, and there's that sort of conversation that happens afterwards where Heller is trying to tell revision about Henrietta and the others and that they're different but the same, and Riddle knows like all the things that like what you can do, and like is trying to like he's talking very quickly to try to get the information together, and revision goes, what are you going to do, because that's going to spread. And Heller says, we can delay it for a little while. And that's all he says. Does that make any sense?
Okay.
And that's just it. Is we can delay it for a little while.
And what about you, Gabriel?
I think we see this enormous party going on, and there are people in their finest clothes, their drinks. It's at the top of a penthouse. And we see Zephyr and Temple, everybody giving, they're, just everybody circulating around them, wanting to touch them, be close to them. As we see Gabriel speaking with that friend of his who provided that bit of capital when it was so neat. I told you all along. We were waiting for the next step, and we'd be ready to bounce. It's magnificent, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's completely novel.
And we're not treading on anybody's trademarks. We're just creating content to push their new technology. And I have the two greatest stars in the genre.
I've read the notes. It'll take him 6 months to a year to catch up.
And by then, we'll be light years ahead. I have a whole roster. It's going to be huge. Maybe so huge that bigger than Dionysus. You ever think of going off on your own?
I've been looking at a number of artists who would be willing to break their contracts elsewhere if we can get them recorded. I'll send you the files.
We'll have a meeting as I click a glass and move over. And I think I see Marley and Riddle. Do I see Heller? Yes.
Muted.
Over towards like the back of this room, probably towards the kitchen, because people hang
where
out
the
in
help
the
comes
room.
in.
Well, friends hang out in the kitchen.
Oh, where the soda stream is.
At a party,
Yeah.
guests are in the living room, friends are in the kitchen, and kind of move back over to them, and well, it would seem that it is a highly successful rollout. Your sister looks beautiful, Heller.
She always has.
And I think we're going to make quite a good bit of money. Thank you. All. I took the liberty of, and I kind of reach into my coat and hand out envelopes to each of you. I've decided that maybe it's time for there to be a new guild or a new company to join. If you would, these are shares. Would you be willing to be my partners?
Yes.
Can do that.
Excellent.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes. As soon as you sign, you will be owners. Junior partners, of course, though. To Throne Entertainment. To Throne Entertainment. I lift my glass.
Nice. And that is our series. A big, long series. Good stuff all around. Thank you all for being willing to play test this wildness. It needs some tweaks, but I think I'm going to take another run at it in another month or two and do another set of revisions, and we'll look at getting it in workable shape. I appreciate you all Yeah, I appreciate you all sticking around for the long haul too. Very, very much appreciated. I would like to go around and stars, things you want to say, things you want to throw out for people, things you dug over this episode or over the whole series. Let's do the same order. Ethan, I put it in your lap first here.
Yeah. I mean, thanks for running this, obviously, and like continuing it in spite of the gaps. Like there were times when we'd come back after a gap and it would be like, okay, what happened in what order? But it was like everybody just sort of slid right back into character, and that was kind of awesome. I rarely see a game work like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really loved everybody's characters. Maybe especially Gabriel, because like it's just such an not against playbook, because you worked really well with the playbook, but like not at all what you imagine when you see that playbook. So like I was like creative, like I said, not actually working against the playbook, but working in unexpected ways with it. And so I thought that was really cool. Like right from the beginning, we see this completely different kind of executive.
Yeah, that was great. It was great, and I appreciate you taking what is a challenging playbook for this kind of genre. Like that's a real challenge. It was interesting, and I think we, through playtesting, that we developed that character along. In the same way, I loved Marley's take on that character archetype, all of this stuff about nature and the whole swamp and water and rain, all of that muck. Ethan, all of that was really, really strong. Patrick, anything you want to throw out stars wise?
I also thought this whole thing was cool. I thought this was a great way to end it, but I just really like the sort of how the themes started to grow together, and we started building this mix of like birth and death and translation and transition and sort of just metamorphosis from one thing to another across a lot of different fields. And I don't know, it was a really interesting story to dig into and explore. Especially stars to Sherry for Heller here through the end, and like your desperate struggle to help revision and maybe ignore your own problems in the process, but like it was a really interesting drive to watch.
There's a thing, it's like one of the best things about the Veil, and the reason I like it for this and for the urban fantasy version, is it really does, you get to play themes, and there are when we still have characters, like we're strong characters, but those characters get to play out themes in a way that a lot of games we don't see. And I really do dig that. That's why every game of the Veil I've played, there's been a story about like some really thematic stuff that has been like really dynamite. Like that one we played, Patrick, with Maria, with the whole like the VR stuff and the artificial intelligences and things. It was just really good. So very, very strong. Sherry?
You know, I'm a big sucker for the Veil, and specifically for the themes and for the way that any set of characters is going to create a wildly different take on their cyberpunk world, just because of those themes, because of the sort of weird, trippy, like powerful but narrow abilities that they have, and the sort of economies that are their currencies are so weird, but they're so themed, and you end up having to return to them over and over again. So it does feed the story. I just think it's so good, and this works. This is working. You know, it is. And I'm looking forward to coming back to it and playing another set of themes and seeing how that one goes. And all of the players were excellent. It was really good. And I have to say that Patrick's riddle was the messiest, most fragmented, sort of. I mean, you really played that in a thing that you made yourself alien to a person who lived in the other world. I just love the conversations between us because it was like we had two completely different senses of what our lives were. If that makes any sense. It was just so interesting. And that whole thing that you had fragmented yourself. And it's just like, wow, really, really cool.
There was an interesting shift in pairings. Like there was a lot of Heller, Marley early, and then there was a shift to Marley Gabriel. Like it was really interesting how that dynamic shifted. Tyler, you get last word.
Oh, how nice. This was brilliant. I mean, this game, what you've done here, this is phenomenal. It's very good because the Veil is so good.
Mm-hmm.
What Fraser did is so good in invoking a story. Like Sherry's talking about, it just starts laying things out. But this adaptation you did, because I hate hack, adaptation kind of telescopes or microscopes in. It's a much tighter story. I think we played kind of the length of as far as you want to push.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all were hitting that XP point and all. It was hitting that edge where I think Veil is sort of designed to. It could go for quite a long time without reaching its edges. This I think really pinpoints a story. Really gets you strong characters involved immediately, defines them quickly, and really tears through a story. I love this adaptation. It is spectacular. Everybody had such strong characters. I loved the internal external conflicts of poor Riddle. When your internal becomes external, that is a wild conflict. I thought that it was really neat to see, Sherry, you wanted to come in and play this character, this playbook, because you wanted to see what the playbook did. You had such good focus. It was a strong driver for what our story was. It brought so much angst and drama to the story. And at the same time, you as a player are so good. You were always, it wasn't like it was a mono focus. You were constantly giving to keep the story going. So, I mean, just brilliant play. I mean, it was just so nice. So much drama from that character. And Ethan, I loved where I feel like Gabriel and Marley towards the end really had connected in a way that I did not imagine at the beginning.
Yeah.
But our goals became really similar, and the outrage we shared seemed very genuine. And when we'd have moments, there were a lot of those of, okay, we're here, we're going to take care of each other, we're going to get through this. And that was really neat to see. I really, really enjoyed your take on the character, their extremely complicated past. And then, of course, there was a lot of the driver for our story of things that you would lay out that kind of made the story become the plot we got to. So, I mean, it was a great role play. So much fun. Other than that, I was really good. Oh my God. I was fantastic.
I know. You should always.
I rocked it.
we were playing. I told you this. We were playing the other day. I was running Apocalypse Keys, and we get to the end, and everybody's like, Ray and the other people, they're all like, oh, I felt I was like a little bit off, and they kind of all go through. Even Kieran goes, oh, I'm a little off, and at the end I go, well, I kicked ass. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I was awesome. So you should always be willing to accept that you did a good job, and you did. So thank you all very much. I'm going to stop the recording,